University, seen by many as the key to success and ultimately the key to open the door to the perfect career for many students. It is becoming increasingly difficult for students leaving university to find jobs, but surely, if you go to university and achieve a degree by the end of it, this must help significantly when applying for a job. Unfortunately, this does not always appear to be the case. With the current state of the economic climate and the rate of unemployment soaring to an all-time high, even graduates are finding it difficult to make their way after finishing their degree. The real question is it really necessary to spend 3 years studying and paying the rising tuition fees in order to be successful in finding a job? More and more students and graduates are beginning to question this when they are faced with the same problems in finding a job as people who didn't go to university. In some cases, people who didn't go to university have ended up better off than those who did.
I turn to silence when I crave recovery. If I'm just a body full of bad bones, and what are you stuck on me?
Well, I left school at 16 and then I went to college where I studied music technology. It was a national diploma. I studied that for 2 years and sort of was really lucky. I managed to kind of find a job not long after I left college. Having a degree wouldn't have made it easier to find a job. I guess it's just if you reach a point where you haven't found a job or you don't really know what to do, then it just means that you can keep gaining experience on the subject that you want to do. In my case, it was working in studios and sound. But no, it definitely wouldn't have helped. With this job in particular, a degree probably has been devalued. There's a lot of kind of private sort of colleges and universities now that charge loads of money for people to go and study music technology for 3 years and cost way too much money. Like for an equivalent amount, you could almost set up a home studio and be doing the job already yourself.
I studied at Sid Grammar School and I did GCSEs and A-levels there. And then I went on to do my degree at Canterbury Christchurch University. I did religious studies and I got a 2-1. And then I went on and did a PGCE in primary education at the University of Greenwich. When I was at school, we were all told to go to university. Obviously, I went to a grammar school, so everyone was like, you've got to go to university to get a good job. And so I did. And I just went and did something that I loved. I don't feel that having a degree has really benefited me much at all. I finished my degree nearly 2 years ago now and I haven't been able to get a job that I wouldn't have been able to get straight out of school. There's so many people with degrees now, especially good degrees, that it doesn't really make any difference when looking for jobs. The amount of debt I'm in now is not worth what I went through. It hasn't put me in a better place than I thought I would be.
UK unemployment levels are currently at 2.6 million, the highest they have been for almost 10 years. Meanwhile, graduate unemployment has hit a 17-year high, with 28% of graduates not being able to find employment within 3 years of leaving university. With tuition fees set to increase to £9,000 a year in September, many students are beginning to question if it's really necessary investing time and money into something that may not help them in the future.
Today's current job market, what you're really looking at is the value of the degree you're having. So for a lawyer or a doctor, certainly that's a value, but for someone that's not looking at that type of career, the value is questionable.
I don't think it's necessary, but what I do think is necessary is that everyone has access to appropriate training.
Get a degree if you're interested in something. I think, like, regardless of whether you want to get a job or not, having a degree is part of extending your learning experience growing up. I think it's it's a great way to start out.
Well, I'm very lucky because I'm half French, so I might be able to go to Paris to study, and it's a lot cheaper there to do. I'm doing textile design, so it might be a lot cheaper there than paying £9,000 a year.
The degree I did help because it, taught me about pitching ideas, conceptualisation, and crafting stories together. So yes, I'd say it's about 30% the degree and 30% my previous experience. I don't think it becomes less valuable. I think it's almost become like the precedent, and everybody needs one. And if somebody hasn't got a degree, the question also sort of becomes, well, why haven't you got one? Because everyone's got one. Why haven't you got one? It's a lot of money to get yourself in debt. I personally probably wouldn't. I had to go and fight in Iraq to fund my degree, so I don't know these days what people would do. Because £9,000 a year, if you're doing a 3-year degree, is quite expensive. So if I was a student now, I'd seriously consider whether to go for it or not. It isn't a bit of paper with a tick in it that's going to get you where you want to go. I firmly believe that if you have the creative drive and you have the ability and you have the talent, then at the end of the day it doesn't really matter if you have a degree or not. If you have what it takes and the motivation, the ambition to keep going in your thing that you like and in a career field that you're interested in doing it, then follow it up. And yes, you might not have a degree, or yes, you might have one, but at the end of the day it's going to be about who you are and the people you know. It's going to get you where you want to go, not a piece of paper with a tick in the box.